You know what? You have ideas that are worth building. You've got ideas, you've got talent that's worth sharing. And you've got more than enough qualified prospects who are out there who would love to do work with you. Oh, but if they only knew you existed. Well, today we're talking about the secret ingredient most photographers never think about: speed. Not in rushing, not in recklessness, but speed in confidence and momentum. Success doesn't belong to the most educated. It doesn't belong to the most experienced. It belongs to those who move forward now with imperfect action. So if you've spent a lot of time planning, prepping, or perfecting, but haven't taken the steps you must take yet? Well, in this lesson, you're going to gain exactly what you need to be successful. Hey there, Lens Legends. Welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side, and it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales. This reduces the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. You're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, and let me show this in a different way. There we go. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her amazing, wonderful team are going to make you look like a hero to your clients. They are fantastic at what they do. Amanda hires really good quality people who stick around, because that's what you need in that kind of business to get used to those kinds of things. digitalprolab.com. If you haven't tried Digital Pro Lab, I'm going to put their URL on the screen. If you haven't tried digitalprolab.com yet, oh, you need to. You are going to love working with Digital Pro Lab, and your clients are going to love you because your photographs, your prints look amazing. digitalprolab.com. And also, this show is sponsored by Landers Photography School. Of course, that's my company. I teach both the photography side and the business side. I do spend a lot more time on the business side, though. So when you need some help with the business side, and by the way, there's not a single one of us who doesn't need help. By the way, don't be one of those people who says, when I was starting, there was no one able to help, or right now, there's no one able to help. It's what I do full time. So yeah, there are people out there to help. And I don't even charge for the first session. So, in fact, I'll put that up on the screen so you can see it. There we go. That's the address to get to my calendar so you can put yourself on it and get a free session with me. Calendly.com/photo school/15 MIN. I want to encourage you to make comments and ask questions as I go through this lesson today. And I want you to go to the comment section right now and enter in hashtag live. Hashtag live. That tells me that you are watching the show right now live on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. We're simulcast to several different places. For those watching the replay, please enter in hashtag replay. Everybody else, hashtag live. I also ask that you share the show. Just click that little button that says share, or tag someone who you know who's a photographer. You know, the photographers who consistently gain the results that many wish they had are the ones who chose to move forward quickly and with purpose. Not just once, not only when inspiration strikes, but through a steady rhythm of action that compounds their efforts over time. These photographers aren't stuck in a loop of planning, reworking, or second guessing. They're engaged in a real, they're engaged in the real, repeatable work of building a business that reflects both their vision and their values. They show up to every interaction prepared. They respond to leads quickly, quickly enough where the prospects haven't forgotten about them yet. They haven't moved on to some other photographer yet. That's how quickly they move. They interact with prospects consistently. They update their portfolios. They nurture client relationships, whether they're doing business with them now or not. And they refine their workflows for efficiency. This isn't about rushing or doing more for the sake of staying busy. Busy does not equal success. Busy is more commonly associated with burnout. What I'm talking about is choosing speed with intention. Quick, deliberate action creates momentum. That momentum leads to clarity, and clarity gives you the confidence to keep going and to adjust as you grow. In today's lesson, you'll see how photographers who take action quickly, not perfectly, create the kind of progress that turns effort into results. You'll learn practical ways to move faster with focus, and you'll start to feel what it's like to build real momentum. And if that sounds interesting to you, hit that like button, hit that love button, and go to the comments section and tell me that you are ready to hear this lesson. Just say I'm ready, or just say yes. But interact with me in the comments section. I can see several of you already have. And if you're just now joining me, enter in hashtag live. Hashtag live. All right. There it is. Some photographers spend months, some even years, doing things like fine tuning their brand message, tweaking their pricing, reworking their website, watching tutorials, or re editing the same images in hopes that it will finally make things right, while others move forward while still learning. They launch, they revise as they go, and they gain traction while others are still contemplating what else they should do. The difference isn't speed. The difference is speed, not reckless or reactive speed, but purposeful, thoughtful speed. It's the willingness to take imperfect action, knowing that progress will always teach you more than hesitation ever could. Let me say that one more time. It's the willingness to take imperfect action, knowing that progress will always teach you more than hesitation ever could. Speed in this context means reducing the time between idea and execution. It means that when you think of reaching out to a past client, you do it now, before lunch. When you see a marketing opportunity, you seize it now. When you recognize that something needs to be improved in your workflow, you make a change in your procedure manual now. This is about eliminating the stall tactics that we wonderful, amazing creatives unintentionally embrace. Things like endlessly researching software, comparing gear, rewriting captions on posts you're going to make, or obsessing over fonts. And I bet you could come up with several more. Every delay creates distance between where you are and where you want to be. So if you're serious about reaching your goals, whether that's being a career photographer, just earning a consistent income, or experiencing deeper creative fulfillment, then how fast you act on your best ideas makes all of the difference. Whatever approach you take, you are training your mind. So when you move quickly with consistency, you don't just get more done, you gain decisiveness, you gain confidence, something that a lot of you tell me that you'd like more of. You create a rhythm of responsiveness and you become the kind of person that your ideal clients can trust because you trust yourself to follow through and to move quickly. This is how you move from dreamer to doer, not by collecting more information. That happens no matter what. But by speeding up your response to the opportunities that are already right in front of you. So, are you a doer or a dreamer? Being a dreamer is a beautiful thing. It means you have vision. But if you aren't pairing that with immediate, imperfect action, if you aren't building a habit of fast, intentional execution, then you are positioning yourself to become one of the 19 out of 20 photographers who never reach profitability. 19 out of 20 photographers never reach profitability. And some photographers are actually watching what they do, taking notes, looking at their price list and basing theirs off of it. You know how you can tell the difference between a photographer who is profitable and one who's not? You can't, not on the surface. So, how do you know that you're following the advice of one of the 19 or the 1 in 20 that is going to be profitable or is already? You can't tell. That's why one of the many reasons why I tell people not to compare yourself against other photographers, especially when it comes to a price list. Dreaming alone doesn't build a business. Doing does. Make sure to hit that like button if you hear something you like. And if you haven't already, comment #live. And if you've watched this show more than once, you already know that every single show has a handout associated with it. And if you would like it, just enter in #handout in the comments. Or if you'd like to send an email directly to me to ask for it, jim@portraitprofits.com. I'll put that on the screen. There we go. jim@portraitprofits.com. The way I do this, I do charge for it, sort of. It depends. I'll tell you what that means. I send it out along with a link to pay the $10. It's just $10. And if you like it and you use it, pay the $10. If you don't like it, if you forget about it, if the download doesn't work and you don't get back to me, well, don't pay the $10. I'm not doing any accounting on it. I won't know that you didn't pay the $10. That's how I choose to do it. I'd rather that it was in your hands than I get the $10. That's what I care more about, is that you get the benefit of it. So take advantage of that. Get today's handout, jim@portraitprofits.com, or just enter in #handout in the comments. All right. Doing more versus getting more. I know that you're putting in the effort. You're showing up. You're here, so therefore I know that you're learning. You're tweaking things as you go. You're doing the work. But here's the question that separates activity from momentum. Is all that doing getting you where you want to go? Staying busy is it's a relatively easy thing to do. I mean, you're replying to messages, you're updating your website, you're editing images, etc. There are so many tasks that absolutely feel productive and often are, but without clear direction and purpose behind them, they can start to pile up without truly moving your business forward. The photographers who consistently grow aren't necessarily doing more than you. They're doing what matters most, and they're doing it faster than you. That speed, paired with clarity, is what gives them their edge. They're not waiting to perfect things before taking the next step. They act, then they evaluate and adjust, and they move forward again. They set timelines for everything. They create urgency in their marketing. They reduce friction in their processes. And the results show up not because they're busier, but because they're better at translating energy into outcomes or effort into outcomes. The work you're doing matters. It does. Even if it is busy work, it does matter. But if it's not aimed at creating growth, it may just be keeping you occupied while time passes. My hope is that you clearly see and recognize the difference between movement and momentum and how to make your efforts build what you envision. Because getting more clients, more income, more freedom doesn't come from being busy. You know this. It comes from doing the right things quickly. Is this resonating with you? Let me know in the comments. Just enter in yes in the comments or click that like button, click that love button each time you hear something that you like. By the way, if you're on Facebook and you're in the scroll, you can only click the like button once. But if you click on the video, you can click that like button as many times as you want. Next section. If to success, it's speed. Photographers often assume that the secret to business lies in the secret to business success lies in better branding, posting more often, mastering a lighting technique. But the real edge, it's speed, intentional speed rooted in clarity. This kind of speed doesn't come from panic or pressure. It comes from a decision, a decision to act before you're completely comfortable. Here's what speed actually looks like in a photography business. You reach out to the lead the moment they inquire using the form on your website. You plan and follow through on a marketing idea right away. You hit publish on that blog post or social reel, knowing that it could be better, that there are some areas where you could improve it. You put it out there anyway. You refine your pricing structure when you recognize that you are not reaching your income goals. You update your policy manual as soon as you get done with a problem, making sure that it is unlikely to ever happen again. You update your procedure manual when you find a quicker solution. This kind of speed gives you traction. It makes you more visible to your ideal client. And more importantly, it builds trust, not just with your prospects and your clients, but in your own mind with yourself. That's where confidence comes from. One of the most powerful insights on this subject comes from Darren Hardy. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a best-selling author and former publisher of Success Magazine. He's known for coaching top entrepreneurs and high performers, people who build results by mastering execution. In one of his mentorship sessions, he said something that hits home. You don't get credit for what's in your drafts folder. You don't get credit for what's in your drafts folder. In other words, all those brilliant ideas, partially written emails or posts, unlaunched offers, and I'll do it later improvements. They don't count because they're not out in the world working for you. When your prospects don't see the value you bring, it's not because they're ignoring you. It's because you've unintentionally hidden yourself by delaying the release of that information or of your action. You're not lazy. You just might be moving slowly. Speed solves these problems, not by forcing sloppy work, but by building the muscle of execution. Yeah, at first, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to make a whole lot fewer as you go. But you're going to do that no matter what, because nothing's perfect. Fast photographers don't win because they're reckless. They win because they keep releasing, they keep refining and re engaging. They don't wait for perfection, they move towards impact. Speed isn't a personality trait, it's a business skill, it's a habit. And like any habit, it's built through repetition. The more you practice quick, intentional action, the more natural it becomes. So, therefore, your confidence grows. You don't gain confidence before you act, but because you acted. So, if you're ready to build a business that moves, that adapts, and that grows now, what I'm about to say is the mindset I want you to develop. So, say this to yourself: I may not be ready, but I'm doing it anyway. Say it again out loud. I may not be ready, but I'm doing it anyway. That's the mindset I want you to adopt. I know a lot of photographers are good about that. I also know a lot want to be good about that. All right. Next section. Let's talk about what slows us down. You may think that people look at your price list and they are thinking it's too high. You may believe you're not getting enough traffic to your website or your social media profiles, pages. You may feel like you're in a crowded market. You may feel that other photographers have better tools than you, better equipment. I call them tools. Maybe they have more experience than you. Maybe they know more people than you. They have stronger networks than you, or whatever other obstacles that have crossed your mind. Yes, these can be real challenges, but more often than not, what slows photographers down isn't external, it is internal. Speed is the decision to act before everything feels just right, instead of the tendency to get stuck in planning or the routines that feel productive but don't actually move the business forward. That's where momentum is lost, not because the obstacles are too big, but because the internal resistance quietly slows things down and you're allowing it, whether you know it or not. You need to create your own personal resistance plan. And if you want help with that, go back to October 3rd, 2022. So it's a few years ago. Go back to October 3rd, 2022, and watch show number 85 for help on how to create a personal resistance plan. Let me put that on the screen. So just in case you didn't hear it, it's on the screen. Personal resistance plan, October 3rd, 2022. It's episode number 85. By the way, this is episode number 247. that we're doing today. So, quite a few episodes ago, but still good information. All right. Some of the tasks we do regularly are nothing more than productivity mirages. They look like work, they feel like work, but they don't move your business forward. Let's talk about some of the usual suspects. And let me give you this fair warning. You might recognize yourself in these examples. If you do, congratulations. That means you're paying attention. Here's the first, and I've got several examples. The first is over planning. Now, you have to plan. The problem is when that's all you ever do. You don't ever actually put something out there. You don't launch. That color coded content calendar that's beautiful, the elaborate launch spreadsheet that's perfect, the 12-step automation flow that you haven't done yet. Structure's great until it becomes the reason you haven't started anything yet. Oh, and yes, I do cross paths with photographers who say they want to do something, and they are being honest. But there's so many things they feel like they've got to do first that they don't actually accomplish anything other than the learning, which is it's good to learn. I'm proud of them, happy that they want to learn. That's fantastic. But they've got to actually apply what they've learned. Planning feels productive, but too much of it is really just permission to delay. It's something that we accept. Here's another example. Endless website tweaking. You ever do that? Changing fonts, updating galleries, rewriting your About Me page for the 27th time. I mean, I do love a good design tweak as much as the next photographer, but perfection isn't the goal. Traction is. Instead of aiming for flawless design, focus on clear messaging and consistent connection. There's another example. Endless image editing. Tweaking the same image multiple times because the final version that you keep on doing over and over. So you have final version, version 1, version 2, version 3. It never feels quite done. It never will. You're going to look at it a year from now or a month from now and see something else that you could do with it. The indicator that you need to stop soon is maybe the second time you've heard yourself say in your mind, it's almost ready. Or if you've said those same words to someone who's asking you, how much longer are you going to be? It's almost ready. The most successful photographers finish imperfectly and move on. Next example. By the way, if any of these are resonating with you, hit that like button, hit that love button, or give me an example of something you've experienced in the comments section. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live. Next example, next thought is waiting for the right time. I'll start marketing once I finish my website. I'll reach out to those past clients next month. I'll work on my pricing when I have more time. Here's the problem. More time is always tomorrow's promise. If you're waiting for the perfect moment, just know that another photographer who knows less than you, who's less experienced than you, who has worse equipment than you, is already moving and probably booking the client that you're just thinking about. Here's another one, fear of judgment. And this one kind of wears a lot of disguises, such as, I want it to look professional. What if people don't like it? I'm just waiting to share it until it's really good. What's underneath all those reasons? Worry. Worry. The advanced price you pay for something that may never come. Worry about what others will think, say, or comment. But the truth is, most people aren't paying that much attention. They're busy, they have lives, they're distracted, and they probably haven't noticed that you didn't post a reel last week. But they will soon forget about you because another photographer got something out for all to see. And it's pretty good. Listen to me, put it out there. Say this with me. I'd rather be seen imperfectly than not seen at all. You definitely have seen other people's work that wasn't all that impressive. And you either know or you feel like they are getting business. And you're wondering what's going on here. I'm better than them, and they have all this business. It's because they are fast, they are quick, they're putting themselves out there. It's imperfect, but it's working. Your client doesn't know all the things that you know. You're making it too perfect. Here's another example: lack of boundaries. You say yes to every last minute session that comes along because you need the money. The request that it goes along the lines of, can you just fill in the blank real quick? And suddenly you've worked maybe 10 hours and done nothing that actually builds your business. Oh, you think you're being kind and helpful because you are being kind and helpful, but it also makes you unavailable to yourself. So is that kind and helpful to you, to those around you? Create space for your priorities, not just your clients' priorities. If anything, yours are more important because if you don't keep your creative energy tank full, you don't get to show up the way you want to for your clients. So therefore, you must have boundaries. This isn't being mean, this is being kind. Next one. Endless price revisions. I came across a photographer once who we did some coaching calls, and this person was, every time we talked, had a new price list. It didn't feel right, so she made some changes to it. By the way, if you're watching, I'm not going to say your name. You're not sure if your pricing feels right. So you keep tinkering with the numbers. But profitable pricing isn't something you experiment with casually. It isn't something that you feel. If you're choosing prices based on feeling or comparison, I'm telling you, you're doing it wrong. It has nothing to do with comparison. It has nothing to do with how you feel about it. Yeah, you're going to feel something about it, but it has nothing to do with that. It's something you design with purpose. If you've done the work to build a pricing structure that reflects your value and supports your goals, the next step isn't more revision, it's implementation. And if you're having any trouble with that, guess what I do? I help people with things like that and a whole lot more on the business side. Yeah, just reach out to me. I'll put the address to get to me up on the screen one more time. This is free. I don't charge for this. So no excuse that you can't afford it. And some of you have put this off. I've had people tell me they've put this off for years because they wanted to wait for the right time. The right time already happened. The second best time is right now. The worst thing you can do is not do it right now. That's the worst. calendly.com/photo school/15 MIN. That will take you straight to my calendar. When it comes to pricing, refinement is going to come over time, but clarity and confidence must come first. By the way, I could go on and on with these examples. Gear research, watching another video tutorial, delaying reaching out to someone, and on and on. The antidote is imperfect action. Imperfect, not perfect. You know that it's not perfect. It's that 80-20 rule where you've got it to 80%, but it took you 20% of the time. And to make it to 100%, you're going to have to, it took you uh, uh, 20% of the time, but it'll take you 80% of the time to get you all the way to perfect. Stop that. I'm bad about it too. I have to remind myself to stop it. Get it to the 80% and then get it out there. Imperfect action. The good news is you can change certain things. None of the examples or habits that I listed are inherently wrong. That's not what it's about. They're all right. They're all good. Maybe you're not slow, but you've just built habits that slow you down. The key is recognizing when they become comfortable hiding places. And the best way to change them is to start acting faster on purpose. As a professional, your value multiplies when you learn to act while still figuring things out. Yeah, that's why these new people who show up all of a sudden somehow get a lot of business. It might feel unfair, but you know what? You can do the same exact thing. So therefore, it's you not being fair to you by not doing it. Speed is about reducing the gap between idea and action. The smaller the gap, the faster your business is going to grow. And the fantastic side effect is the more confident you become. Here's the last section of this message. I want you to build speed into your business. Speed isn't a personality trait. It's not just for the type A folks and the extroverts. Speed is a skill that is practiced, strengthened, and becomes a part of your daily routine, just like lighting techniques or client posing prompts. Business speed is something you learn by doing. And so let me give you some practical strategies to help you operate with more speed, intention, and clarity without sacrificing quality or overwhelming yourself in the process. First one, give yourself a specified action window. For instance, when you have an idea, a marketing push, a pricing update, a portfolio refresh, or a networking event or idea, give yourself a certain amount of time to act on it. You can say a day, 4 days, a week, but give yourself a deadline, not to perfect it, so that you can move forward. Don't wait for a clear calendar. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for a burst of inspiration. You'll gain more clarity and energy by doing that thing than by analyzing that thing. The second thought, cut response time in half. The faster you respond to leads and client inquiries, the more likely they are to book you. Use templates and workflows to reduce friction. Your client expects a clear, prompt reply that helps them take the next step. Make it easy for them. Make it easy for you. The third is set non-negotiable deadlines. Deadlines work. Well, when you honor them, they work. When you set a deadline for a campaign or a promotion, whatever you want to call it, a gallery delivery, or a portfolio update. Treat it like a session booking. Put it on your calendar. Yep, it's not a client necessarily that you're working with, but put it on your calendar. Make sure that it shows up as busy. By the way, if you're using Google Calendar, it is possible that it can show up as free time. Therefore, it has the ability to be booked if you allow people to put themselves on your calendar. I have made that mistake. Speedy photographers win by following through. Number 4, post it anyway. You think your reel needs another edit? You think your blog should be longer? You think your newsletter headline isn't quite clever enough? Post it anyway. Send it out anyway. Progress isn't made in drafts, it's made in public. Every imperfect action builds momentum, authority, and real world results. Number 5, automate what you overthink. If it takes you 15 minutes every time you write an email reply, or if you're manually doing what your CRM, your client relationship management program, could automate, well, it's time to fix that. Maybe batch tasks, or build templates, or create checklists. Free up your bandwidth for the creative and relational work that moves your business forward, and automate what you can. Number 6, ask for the business. Don't wait for clients to magically come to their senses and reach out to you. Pick up the phone, send them a message, reconnect with your past clients, and ask how you can help them now. Now, it shouldn't be pushy, but assume a yes until you get a no. The bottom line is I want to avoid being in limbo. For example, when a prospect says, I need to think about it, I'll let you know tomorrow, or I need to check with my spouse. These are ways, well, there are many ways that you can do to reduce those types of occurrences when you plan this and see it through. By the way, I help with all of these things. I can help you do that. If you're having any trouble with it at all, I help with that kind of thing. Number 7, work with someone who will push you. We often drift into perfectionism, delay, busy work, but accountability from a coach, a mentor, a mastermind group, whatever works best for you, creates clarity and speed. They don't let you sit in the thinking about it stage or phase for long. They help you move. You don't need to move fast in everything. You just need to move fast in the right things, the things that build momentum, confidence, and visibility. And all you have to do is start today. That's it. Just start today. I want to remind you, as always, every single one of these lessons, these episodes, the shows that we do have a handout associated with them. So if you want that handout, well, just let me know. And you can do that by uh, going to the comment section and entering hashtag handout, or send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. By the way, we are almost done. Closing thoughts are left. And then I'm going to share with you what next week's show is all about. By the way, I think a lot of you are going to want to watch next week's show. I'll let you know what it's about in a second. Take a moment to go to the comment section and put in a takeaway from today's training. And if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live into the comment section. But take a moment to share a thought, an experience that you've had. Share something in the comment section, or you could just say, thanks, Jim. It's simple as that. Lens Legends, by the way, if this is the first time you're watching my show, that's you. That's my students, that's photographers. When I'm talking to a photographer, you are a lens legend. So, lens legends, you didn't start your photography business just to stay busy. You started because you had a vision, a passion, and a desire to make a difference. And that vision is possible. It becomes reality not through perfect plans or flawless execution, but through speed, consistency, and confident action, all of which start with speed. What you've learned today is not about rushing, it's about momentum. It's about the photographers who show up ready to move, ready to learn, ready to lead their business. You know, since you've made it to this point in the lesson, that tells me something important about you. You're not just looking for information, you're looking for transformation. You're not dabbling in photography business ideas, you're interested in growth. And I admire that. This lesson has been about developing a trait that separates photographers who merely want or wish for success from those who create it. That trait is speed, intentional, decisive motion that builds momentum, confidence, and ultimately the results you want. If you're waiting for confidence, if you're waiting for clarity, if you're waiting for clarity, take action because that's where it lives. If you're waiting for confidence, take action because that's how it grows. If you're waiting for success, take action because that's how it arrives. I've got a challenge for you. Choose one idea that you had today while we were talking. I know ideas popped into your head while we were talking. Choose one idea that you had about your business from today's lesson and act on it today. Don't put it in your later file or your good idea file. Don't file it in your head for next week. I'll do it next week when I have more time. You've got the same number of hours next week that you have this week. Make that phone call. Update that web page. Post that offer. Whatever it is, start now because the photographers who win are the ones who do. I hope this message sparked something for you. And if it did, I'd love to hear what it is you're acting on. You can do that in the comments. Maybe if you want to keep it to yourself, you just message me, send me an email, jim@portraitprofits.com. Leave me a comment. As always, keep moving forward with purpose. Now, if you need any help, if you'd like any help with these, my private coaching sessions can help you choose and implement the right tools for your business. So take advantage of the free 15-minute session that I have told you about already. I'm going to put it on the screen one more time. If you need to do a screenshot, then do the screenshot because I don't want to put it up here again. Just because it takes time more than anything. Screenshot that. As you know, the Portrait Profit Show is something that I do every single Monday. So let me tell you what's coming. In 1 week from today, December 1st, yes, December already, December 1st at noon, Partner Powered Projects. This is episode number 248. And let me put that on the screen. I think I've got that in text form. Yep. This is a step-by-step guide to promoting your next mini session or event or creative offer by teaming up with a local business or businesses. organizations. You'll know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to build real marketing momentum through simple, meaningful partnerships. This elevates what it is that you're doing. It causes more people to become aware of what you're doing. Of course, we have to do a good job at target marketing, but you are going to because you have this network of or this partner or partners that you're working with. You're going to increase your reach. So we're going to talk about how to do that. Now, this could be something as simple as a one-person show where you've got a gallery and you're showing it off at a business or an organization. Maybe during their gala. There's a whole bunch of ideas. I'm going to share them with you, but we're going to be talking about how to partner to elevate what it is that you're doing. That's 1 week from today. Put it on your calendar. Lens Legends, I want to thank you for investing your time with me here today. I want your calendar full of the kinds of clients that you value and who value you. I want you to look at your bank account and know that your creativity is making a difference. I want you to wake up excited to do the work that matters because you've created a business that works for you. It happens when you choose progress over perfection, when you choose action over avoidance, when you decide, I'm doing it anyway. You don't need perfection. You just need to move. So, as we end another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, I hope that the ideas and strategies we've explored today have resonated with you and that you're able to move forward with confidence because the world is waiting for your unique vision and your ability to touch lives through portraiture. So trust in your talent, believe in the impact you are making, are going to be making, and let your light shine brightly. Seize today as an opportunity to let your passion soar, making the world a more beautiful place, one portrait at a time. Thanks, Lens Legends, for your attention here today, and even more so, the efforts that you make every day to be such an amazing portrait photographer. Together, we can help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. So, for Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. So, until I see you next week, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.